Hello friends, welcome back to Gikkudiaries YouTube channel for this second part and concluding part looking ahead to the IPL 2025 on this the Kumbi-Gikku Show. And with me is Srinath, a former first-class cricketer, a top BCCI-panel umpire, and who is also the co-author of the recently released book, Handbook of Cricket Psychology. Good evening. Welcome to Gikkudiaries show, Sri.
Thanks, Jiko. Good evening to you.
Yeah, so we love here in this, we look at the other 5 teams who finished in the top half of IPL 2024. So, Sri, what are your chances? Who could be making the top 4 from among these 5? And of these 5, you have only one captain who stands out from the rest of the 9 IPL franchisee captains.
Well, Jiko, we are discussing about CSK, RCB, RR, SRH and KKR.
That's right,
and
yes.
Odd man out in this 10-team captains are Pat Cummins.
Yes.
Who's the captain of SRH.
That's right.
Well, to start with, looking at the team composition, the way the teams have been spread across, it's not very easy to say that who could be the one or 2 teams that could qualify from this group. But on paper, going by the strength of SRH, their batting firepower at the top certainly, holds them in good stead, and they've got a potent bowling attack. I think my number 1 from this group would be SRH. Number 2 is a pretty dicey call because KKR have been reigning champions, though they've had a few guys moving out, especially the captain last year, who Shreyas Iyer's moved out to Punjab Kings. But it's a tough call because all the other 4 teams, RR, RCB, CSK and KKR, more or less are similarly placed. So my gut says it could be KKR, and maybe given a choice with the run in the last 15 seasons CSK has had, they are always there and thereabouts. So to me, it looks like it could be SRH and KKR from this group. Yes, happy to be proved wrong if it could be RR or RCB or CSK coming in.
What makes CSK such a consistent team, Sri? And you have officiated in some of them. Is it just that one man, MS Dhoni, or it must be not just him alone, isn't it?
Look, it's a franchisee run by a group of people who handled India Simmons, which has got a legacy in running cricket in TNCA. And the head of CSK was an office bearer in BCCI, ran TNCA very professionally. So they knew all the way as to how cricket needs to be run. So they made the right choices. And when they went in fact, we should remember late VB as of today, because he was the guy who was instrumental in getting MS Dhoni at the behest of Mr. N. Srinivasan. Come what may, they wanted to have Dhoni on board. So they worked around well in the first edition of IPL when they got MS on board. The basic thing is the understanding of running the sport, understanding of the players is very important per se from a franchisee's perspective. So when that cushion is always provided, and of course at the helm, whom do you have? A man who's seen it all, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So the rest all falls in places. So I think it's a combination of understanding of the franchisees, the freedom they've given to players, and to have a man like MS Dhoni at helm there. I think that is what makes CSK a unique franchisee.
Yeah, and in the last 4 IPL seasons, they won twice. So that also speaks of MS Dhoni and his longevity in this IPL. And he's one who is proving that age is just a number, isn't he?
Yeah, true. I mean, he's broken all barriers. And he's 42 today, and when we see him training every day, sweating it out in the Chennai heat, 2 hours of practice every day, that shows there's still fire in the belly. as you said, 2 times in the last 4 years. The first time when they won, I think it was in Wankhede. I think they were called the Uncle's Army. When they had Shane Watson, Dwayne Bravo, MS Dhoni, Ambathi Raidu, most of the guys on the wrong side of 30s. And, everybody had a good laugh. And, they were critical about the choice of the team. But end of the day, MS Dhoni and CSK had the biggest laugh, winning the IPL. So yes, age is just a number. It's about the pride, the passion, the fire he still has within him, and to motivate the players around. So that's why CSK is just unique.
And last year they had a new captain in Ruturaj Gaikwad, who probably I thought was found wanting in certain areas, and that's when he had the backing of MS Dhoni, who himself took charge in the middle, though in the unofficial capacity. But he must be an improved captain from his first season and should be taking it further up than number 5 that they finished last year, Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Certainly, he would have been under pressure last year, suddenly when he was offered the mantle of taking the lead. But yes, having spent 1 year with Dhoni, looking at the way he works around as a cool customer, and as you said, MS always will be a guiding force standing behind the stumps, and he would always be there to guide Ruturaj Gaikwad. Yes, certainly he would have gained in confidence. So the confidence against the franchisee has shown in Ruturaj Gaikwad by reinstating him as a captain for the second consecutive time. I think that would certainly have boosted his confidence. Yes, again, it's about the form. As a batter, if he's going to do well, that's going to rub off on his captaincy also.
And they say that Chennai always helps spinners, and they have about 3 spinners who go by the name of Ravi, Ravindra, and another Ravindra. So the reunion of Indran and Chandran, like it was popularly called in one of those Tamil commentaries, and also the one who is making waves in the ICC events, Rachin Ravindra. So they should be doing well for CSK, especially in Chennai.
Yeah, I mean, they're all proven cricketers worldwide. And yes, Ashwin coming back to the fold of CSK is a big homecoming for him. Yes, typically the Chennai wickets at Chepauk have just gone a bit on the slower side and aiding more of spin. And yes, we've been discussing about Fortress. Like Mumbai Indians as Wankhede, Chennai has been a fortress for Chennai Super Kings. And yes, why not? They play to their strengths. Because Jadeja is more than a handful on slow turners. Ashwin has got a lot of repertoire and he's a wily bowler. And Rachin Ravindra, I mentioned, handful. Quality top order batter who's in the form of his life and certainly can chip in with the ball. Yes, spin will play a major role for CSK in this edition of IPL.
Yeah, so they stand a good chance of going one up than Mumbai Indians for their 6th title. But then it's not as easy as said. We look at the Chennai's neighbors who have been wanting to win IPL title but never did it for 17 seasons, 3 times finalists. What should RCB be doing to go for that elusive title?
Well, yes, RCB, it's been hit and miss for them. They've come close on 3 occasions. They've qualified for the playoffs on quite a few occasions, but have never laid their hands on the title. I've always believed, Chinnaswamy is such a ground wherein the wickets are so good to bat on, and there's something in the air. You just hit the ball in the air, it just carries it out of the ropes. Right from the days of when you had Chris Gayle at the top, they've always been a team which has been top heavy. The top 3 players are the ones who really the team rallies around. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2016, when Virat had a dream season of getting 900 odd runs, which has been the highest ever by any cricketer in the history of IPL. So it's about time when the middle order, lower middle order comes to the party, because it's not that time and again your top order batters are going to have a dream season 14 out of 14 games, they're going to give you a flying start. There are going to be games when you're going to lose wickets up front. And also the challenge has been the choices made by RCB. A couple of seasons back, the best bowler they had in Chinnaswamy conditions was UG Sahel. It was a crime to let him go. One of the best wrist spinners, leg spinner going around. Anybody would have just grabbed him with both hands. So I think retention and release was always a problem. And yes, this year around again, they've had a new captain in Rajat Patidar. Again, he's had a couple of good seasons with IPL. I think in terms of captaincy, not very rich in experience. And the fan base of RCB is massive. And the talk always revolves around Virat Kohli. Somewhere, that should change. The shift in focus, the talk always around Virat Kohli should just move away. And there are quality players in the side who can certainly make an impact. Yes, as I said, it's about middle order, middle order, and the bowlers coming to the party, which certainly will give RCB that edge.
You just mentioned about RCB releasing Yuzvendra Chahal. They also let go of Faf du Plessis and Mohammad Siraj, who have been their key performers in the recent years. So how do you look at that choice?
Well, as I said, it's about the think tank, having a chat with the coach, trying to figure out what combination they would like to work upon. So the coach of RCB could maybe, have had different opinions, because Faf is somebody who's been out of international cricket for a couple of years and he just plays the franchisee cricket. But nevertheless, to let go of somebody like Siraj, again, he's done reasonably well for RCB in conditions against in Bangalore. And up front, he's been a wicket taker for them. Yeah, tough choices. But we could always discuss this. But in hindsight, we said this is what could have been.
Right.
But the options they've looked at would certainly do well and bring RCB into the top 4 and maybe their hands on the title.
You also have such good proven performers like Josh Hazlewood, who is coming back from an injury. He missed a majority of the Border Gavaskar Trophy test matches. They also have Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and for his vast experience, he could probably be more than what Siraj would be bringing to the table. Bhuvi?
Yeah, but again, subject to fitness is what we are talking about. Josh Hazlewood. He's been off cricket for a very long time. And mind you, 6-7 home games in Chinnaswamy. Basically, Hazlewood again is a bowler up front with a new ball, could make early inroads and cause some damage. But having looked at the wickets that have played in earlier years, just missing the line or length by a bit, could be going in for runs. Yes, Bhuvaneshwar, very crafty operator. He's been around for long enough. Long-serving fast bowler. He was with SRH, had a lot of success there. But coming into a new environment, settling down there and bowling on the docile pitches. And if he's not going to get any of the swing or seam movement he's expected of, could be in trouble up front. Yes, but experience-wise, certainly, these two could bring a lot to the table.
Yeah, you mentioned about that RCB should also be looking at other players. And you have two players who have done it for Mumbai Indians in the middle order, who have been in the finishing role, Tim David and Romario Shepherd. Probably if they can take more responsibility, Virat Kohli will be a little at ease. Do you agree?
Certainly, because Virat is going to open. So his role would be, he would like to bat through the 20 overs. If he gets to bat through the 20 overs, RCB is certain to put up a big score. And mind you, it's not going to happen in all the 14 games. So that's why guys rallying around Virat are the ones who should take pressure off him. You cannot look at Virat starting off well, putting pressure on him in the middle, and again looking at him as a finisher towards the end. So it's up to the middle order. Again, we were discussing about the finishers from the Indian perspective. That's the key. That's the key for any side. They can't have far too many foreigners in the middle order because there are only 4 players available. So you need to have that cushion, an Indian cricketer who can be that finisher for you.
Right. So Let's hope RCB at least go this time the maximum distance, because every time they say Isala Cup Namde, but it doesn't happen at all.
We all live in hope.
Yeah, that's right. So who next? We go to Rajasthan Royals, the first edition winners, and they finished runners-up one more time, and otherwise they have not been in the top two. Rajasthan Royals will be boosted by the return of Rahul Dravid, who was away for India assignment the last couple of years.
True, Gikku, RR has always been a mystery. They won the first edition. They had the Wiley Shane one then. But one good thing about RR is there are quite a bit of young Indian talent that are always a part of the RR group. Somebody like Jaiswal was picked by RR first, blossomed there. And this year, they have a 14-year-old who played India under-19 last year, Raghuvanshi from Bihar. So somewhere, RR always has been that franchisee which has looked to promote talent, Indian youngsters especially. They start off well, somewhere they lose momentum and the impetus in the middle. But again, when it comes to the business end, they try the best. But even if they make it to the playoffs, like what happened last year, they come up a cropper there. The firepower in terms of their bowling is something what they need to really focus on.
Right. And they have the firepower in Jofra Archer and also the young teenager from South Africa, Quina Mafaka. So it will be interesting to see how they go about, but then it's again, like we say, the choice of the 4 overseas players that they go for. Jofra Archer, who also broke Sanju Samson's finger, that he had to undergo surgery, and now he's back. Whether it remains to be seen whether Samson is ready to keep wickets or he just plays as a batsman, not risking his injured finger.
We'll talk about Jofra Archer. He's a bowler who will go for plenty. We did see that on the recent ODI series when India played against England or in the T20 games. He was going for plenty, 450, 460. So at his pace, if he's just going to miss it even by a couple of inches, I think he's going to sail over the boundary ropes. So it's more like make or break for him. If he comes good on that particular day, he could be a recurrent chief. But most of the times, he's on the receiving end when he goes for runs. Yes, it would be a gamble. And again, his fitness. How fit is he? Will he be in a position to play all the games for RR? As you said, will he be a first choice when you look at 4 foreigners? So all these things will crop up. But yes, given day, I think he'll be more than a handful.
How have you seen Sanju Samson? Because I always felt he is someone who, for the talent that he has, could have been even more consistent than whatever he has been doing. Sometimes I feel throws away his wicket. How have you seen Sanju Samson? And for the kind of chances that he has got, even at the highest level, the international level, do you think he was a little bit found wanting?
Well, I've seen Sanju as a 14-year-old kid, Gikku. I've followed his cricket right through age group formats. Yeah, Sanju is somebody who's pretty laid back and a cool character. His exterior suggests that he's not somebody who's very serious about the game, but he's not made that way. But yes, I wouldn't say found wanting. Maybe he's not embraced the sort of opportunities he's got, because there's a label, there's a tag which says that, Sanju can hit sixers at will. Maybe mindset, does he get carried away, or does he just look to capitalize on the power play? To me, Sanju is a sort of player, if he can bat 10-12 overs in a T20 game, single-handedly he can get to a 3-figure mark. Yes, he blows hot and cold most of the times. You can see a couple of brilliant performances. Suddenly you see a slump from 2-3 games is just off there. And yes, opportunities have come his way. But flip side of it, maybe he still could have been persisted given a longer run, which could happen anytime in the near future, because one of the finest wicket keepers in the shortest format of the game, and also a pretty good captain, because we saw how he handled RR last year with the resources he had around him. But yes, Sanju's fitness as a batter, yes, he's been cleared, but he's still trying to work his way through as a wicketkeeper. Because if he's going to only play as a batter, there's going to be one more position that has to be sacrificed for someone else to come and take his place as a wicketkeeper. So it's that much important that Sanju needs to be fit both as a keeper and as a batter, which is very, very important for RR in terms of their team combination.
Right. So let's hope he is fit and does more consistent performances with the bat. What about Sunrisers Hyderabad, 2016 champions? They have a captain who has won almost everything that ICC, under the ICC banner. Pat Cummins, you think he will stand out from the rest and lift the trophy for SRH, which he almost did it last year?
Yeah, I think SRH is one of the most formidable outfits in this edition. And yes, Pat Cummins, a very experienced captain. He did really well last year. They just missed the bus in the final against KKR. Having said that, again, this is a side which is really top-heavy in their batting. You have likes of Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, who's been in sensational form in T20 cricket. They've got Henrik Klaassen, another dynamic player in the shortest format. Somebody like Nitish Kumar Reddy in the middle order. Again, a finisher. So players like Nitish Kumar Reddy are the ones who would be the most impactful players. Because when it comes to the role of finishing, again reiterating, only 4 foreigners. Cummins, Travis Head, Klaassen. So you get in one more bowler as your foreign option.
You
so
have
middle order is open.
Adam Zappa, so he is top T20 spinner, leg spinner.
So these would be the first choice for overseas recruits for SRH. So now the owners in the middle order, maybe it could be a Deepak Hooda, again who's had hit and misses in T20 cricket, or Nitish Kumar Reddy. Yes, on paper, a very formidable side. And certainly SRH is going to give a run for the money against whomsoever they play. Home games again for them will be crucial. Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, big ground. Spinners will come into picture. A lot of spinners love to bowl. Most of them love to bowl on bigger grounds. And also the wicket there are very flat surfaces. And you would certainly see scores in excess of 200 on a very regular basis. And yes, Pat Cummins, the important guy in that side. And certainly SRH looks a very formidable unit in this edition.
And probably sharing the new ball with Pat Cummins is Mohammad Shami, who came back after a long layoff, played well, did well for India in that successful Champions Trophy campaign. How will you handle or manage Mohammad Shami, considering that India have an all-important tour of England and he is going to be one key bowler for India?
Well, Gikku, I don't think they would be thinking so far ahead of the England tour, because Shami also had a little bit of a niggle during the Champions Trophy. Yes, when we talk about T20 cricket, it's just 4 overs the fast bowler needs to bowl. But the amount of travel when they play back-to-back matches to different venues, and I don't see Shami, featuring in all the 14 games unless and until it is really necessary. You certainly could see him off in a couple of games in between, because it's not easy to play flat out 14 games in a span of about 45-50 days. And mind you, he's also recovered rather after an injury, a long layoff of close to about 16 months. So it all depends on how his body holds up. And yes, a very important member again, partnering Cummins at the top. A very, very dangerous combination at the top for SRH.
True. And perhaps Pat Cummins would just be wanting to hold his hand on the trophy, something that he has missed last year. And he has held his hands on the T20 World Cup, the ODI World Cup, the World Test Championship. Maybe this is one that he would also like to lay his hands on. What about Kolkata Knight Riders? Can they do what Mumbai Indians did or what CSK did, retaining the IPL title?
I mean, why not? They certainly can. There's nothing which stops them from getting there. But again, from a fan perspective, from a former cricketer's perspective, letting go of your winning captain, I think that certainly raises eyebrows. A guy who gelled really well with the existing coach Chandrakant Pandit, both Mumbaikars, and Gautam Gambhir as a mentor did a fantastic job. And surprising when we saw that Shreyas Iyer was not retained. Maybe KKR's loss was Punjab Kings' gain. And yes, maybe a surprising choice in picking up the captain, Rahane. So now they've picked a captain who's very experienced, who knows his players well. He handles players very well on the field. I've worked enough with him in domestic and in IPL also. A very, very good captain to work with. But now Rahane, the batter, he was given the license. He really broke all shackles. He did really well under MS Dhoni with CSK. Now, can he repeat what he did for CSK with KKR? Because if he has to bat, he has to bat in the top 3 for KKR. There is no other place beyond that. Because they have a solid middle order. They've got an excellent finisher in Andre Russell. So, if he has to bat, he has to bat at either 1, 2 or 3. So, that is very important. And yes, they have most of the bases covered. And they again are a side which is very, very dangerous at home. So that makes them really a very, very formidable side.
Yeah, they let go of the winning captain, Mumbaikar, but they have replaced with another Mumbaikar. Maybe Chandrakant Pandit and Ajinkya Rahane combination may work well for KKR. They have retained the key players, like you have Venkatesh Iyer, who has been a remarkable performer in the last couple of years.
Yeah, the retentions were good. They've retained Venkatesh Iyer. They've retained Sunil Narayan, who's been with KKR for, I can't remember, since maybe the inception. Also, Varun Chakravarti was a very, very good retention. And he's in the form of his life. So, and Andre Russell. I think Dre Russell has been one of those outstanding performers for KKR. So, these 4 players, yes, they will be the key. Yes, working in tandem, knowing each other well is one part of Kumbi-Gikku. But when it comes to executing skills on the field of play, now if the captain is in fine fettle in form, obviously that will rub off on his team also. Because Rahane running into this IPL had a very good Mushtaq Ali tournament. His strike rate was in excess of 140, 150. He had a dream run. So if he's able to replicate that sort of form and performance, yes, certainly, KKR would certainly be a contender to retain the IPL title.
But he also has to maybe think about the fitness of some of his players, because Andrik Nortje is coming back after injury and going to be playing after a long time. They also have already missed Umran Malik due to injury. So, some concerns there for Rahane and Chandu?
Well, overall, if you look at most of the franchisees, they've had injury concerns. Some of the players have pulled out due to reasons. So, everybody has a similar headache. So, yes, Andre Nortje, a real lightning quick bowler, coming up after a long layoff. Yes, and to hit straps in T20 cricket is not that hard, like wherein you need to settle into a groove, bowl a long spell or that many number of overs like you do in Test cricket. So maybe a few practice sessions, they might get to play a couple of practice games, some simulations. So quick to get back. Again, in this format, playing on smaller grounds in IPL, the quicker you bowl, you miss it by a margin, the faster it disappears. That's the disadvantage of being lightning quick or bowling in excess of 140, 145s and missing it by a margin. So maybe, the more successful faster bowlers have been like Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, you mentioned, bowling up 130s, like Deepak Chahar has been successful. So these guys have the knack of knowing to get the right lengths and lines. So whereas you miss it, we spoke about Jofra Archer. Could be the same with Cummins, could be the same with Stark, could be the same with Nokia. Because these are all guys who are quick. So if they're going to miss it by a margin, it's going to go for runs. Yes, concerns would be there, but I think KKR certainly have their bases covered, and hopefully they get all their players fighting fit and have a happy headache to get the best 11 on the park.
Yeah, and with the players use the pace of the ball to just play it behind the wicket for the maximum runs, isn't it? So that's something that they have to also look at. Maybe go a bit slower, make it that much more difficult for the batters, make them earn for their runs, and eventually make them earn for the trophy.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the lap shots, the ramp shots, the dill scoops, the reverse sweeps, whatever. The reverse sweep has, become such a norm that even the faster bowlers have been reverse swept today. Yeah, I mean, that's innovation, and that's what is the beauty of T20 cricket. There's nothing that's sort of monotonous in this. You don't see a bowler bowl a similar ball consecutively, nor you see a batter play the similar shot. So it's more about power hitting, boundary hitting. That's where we see a player of the quality of Virat Kohli who still is able to maneuver the gaps, run his singles hard. So that's the quality of a top cricketer. But nevertheless, yes, it's a good platform which KKR have set. And I think, are they opening the season this year, Gikku?
Yeah, KKR versus RCB on Saturday at Eden Gardens.
That's a real humdinger. I think that would be a cracker of a game. And the wickets are pretty lively with a good carry and bounce in Kolkata at Eden Gardens. You'll see a full packed crowd. Rahane and Rajat Patida, two Indian captains coming out for toss. And what else do you want? A blockbuster start. So whoever puts the best foot forward and starts on a winning note, I think certainly will take the momentum forward.
And hopefully the weather stays good, because yesterday they had a practice game and the second innings was a washout because of rain in Kolkata. KKR had their practice game yesterday.
I think the the drainage system is pretty good, and the playing condition provides 60 minutes of extra time available. The ground is covered fully, and the drainage system is pretty good. I've been a part of a couple of games where there have been heavy downpours, and we've had the game going up and going in about half an hour, 40 minutes time. So I think it could be an unseasonal shower which has just interrupted a practice game. But certainly no better way to start the 18th edition of IPL. Eden Gardens, an iconic ground. Last year's winner,
massive
KKR.
Crowd, packed stadium. Korbal or Bajit crowd.
Absolutely. Even the fan following of KKR in Kolkata is something amazing. But again, you will see a sea of red also, because the fan base of RCB is really massive. And you look RCB side with quite a few changes, taking on the reigning champions, would be really a big game to start off this edition of the IPL.
Right. Yeah. So on that note, friends, we conclude this, and sure that we will be bringing weekly reviews of the IPL 2025. That's the Kumbi-Gikku Show. Thank you, Sri, for this, and we'll catch up again once the action begins. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Gikku.
Bye.
Thanks, Gikku. Thank you. See you soon.
Yes.